Hey everybody, welcome back to Make It with Mod Podge. My name is Cathie Fillion.
And I'm Steve Piacenza. And if you've never used Mod Podge before, this video is for you. We are going to be showcasing two different formulas, the gloss formula and the fabric formula.
Now, like Steve said, if you've never used Mod Podge before, this is the perfect video to start with because we're gonna walk you through all the basic steps to create any kind of a frame like this or a cool treasure box. So that is every single step for applying the scrapbook paper to a dollar frame and doing these cool treasure boxes, and that's gonna be with the gloss Mod Podge formula. And with the fabric formula, we're gonna talk about how it's machine washable and show you how you can use it on tote bags and other fabric things like this fun hat here to create these cool coordinated looks.
And we're also gonna be using some folk art paint for these projects.
You ready to do it?
Let's do it.
I'm going to start by showing you how to apply paper to a wood frame using gloss Mod Podge. I'm using a plain dollar wood frame, some scrapbook paper, and some acrylic paint. You can use apple barrel or folk art paint, and I like to match my paint color to my scrapbook paper. First, I like to paint the edges of the frame, and I paint the top of the frame too. It's almost like a primer before you put the paper down. I like to trace the top of my frame onto the back of my paper using a pencil. Just be careful about the branding bar on a piece of scrapbook paper. You'll want to cut on the pencil line as best as you can. To cut the window portion of the frame out, you'll just gently fold the paper and then cut a little slit. Now we're ready to Mod Podge, but first I like to use a little wax paper or a protective mat underneath my project. I'm using gloss Mod Podge for today's frame. You can also use matte or satin with the same techniques. And I'm using a 1-inch flat paintbrush. You can also use a foam paintbrush. First, apply a nice, even, thin coat of Mod Podge to the entire top of the frame. Next, apply a thin, even coat of Mod Podge to the back of your paper. Make sure you apply the Mod Podge to all of the edges. Next, just place your paper right on top of the frame. And then I like to use my fingers from the inside out to smooth out any air bubbles. Once your paper's down, you're going to let that sit for 15 minutes prior to top coating. After 15 minutes, you're ready to top coat with Mod Podge Gloss, matte, or satin. You're going to want your brush strokes to be very smooth and working all in one direction. Make sure you hit the sides of your project too. I like to let my projects dry overnight. In humid areas, it might take a little bit longer. You can also use Mod Podge to seal your acrylic paints, just like on these boxes here. Don't worry, I know it looks milky, but it's gonna dry perfectly clear. Next, I'm going to teach you about fabric Mod Podge. This formula allows you to attach fabric to fabric. You want to begin with pre-washed fabrics. I like to use household items as templates when making circle shapes. I like to mark my pencil lines on the back of the fabric. That way, if my cutting isn't perfect, they don't show. Next, you'll just apply fabric Mod Podge to the back of your fabric pieces. You'll want to make sure that you do a nice even coat and make sure you get the edges really well. Fabric Mod Podge is much thicker than the regular Mod Podge. Now you're ready to flip your fabric over and attach it to your other fabric. I like to smooth my fabric out from the center to the edges, and then make sure you really press down on all of those edges to secure. You can layer fabrics over fabrics, just like I'm doing here with the ears. For this design, I added, of course, a red bow right in between the ears. You can top coat with more Mod Podge, or you can leave as is. This will be fully cured in 72 hours. You can also use fabric Mod Podge to attach trims, pom-poms, any other kinds of decorative elements. See how fun and easy it is to work with fabric Mod Podge? Design ideas are endless. After 72 hours, your project will be completely cured. I prefer to hand wash my projects like these, but fabric Mod Podge is machine washable. Okay guys, I got one last project to show you, and I just wanted to show you how you can also do the same technique on a hat. So fabric Mod Podge will work on any fabric to fabric project. You can add one little fabric cutout, or you could do an all over design. It's really endless with fabric Mod Podge.
Well, there you go, folks. That is the basic steps for using the gloss formula and the fabric formula.
And now that you know how to Mod Podge, we can't wait to see what you make.
Yes.
So if you're posting any of your project pictures, make sure you use the hashtag PlaidCrafts and the hashtag Mod Podge. We'll be back here on Facebook and Instagram every Thursday with a new video. And on Saturdays, you can catch our video premieres on PlaidCrafts YouTube channel.
And we hope you have a nice day, and we'll see you next week.
We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.